Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Whisper, and today what I have for you is a story, and the reason I decided to tell this story was because the other night I was talking with a friend. We were talking about some of the funny stuff that happened to us as furries, stuff that wouldn't have happened otherwise if we were furries, and this story came into my mind, and I really thought it was funny, and I just always spaced telling it, so yeah, here it is. So this story happened about midway through my junior year, so it would have been about, 6 or 7 months ago at this point, and normally I hang out with this specific group of friends that I have. I have a group of friends that I usually hang out with. We're all pretty close. But during this specific week, I really couldn't hang out with them because they were away. One of them was away at Disneyland or something like that with family. And then the other one was out sick for a couple days. So usually the group of friends is like 5 people, but it would have been 3 with me. So I figured I'd go and hang out with a different group of people just because I wanted to hang out with them and get to know them, because I was still getting to know them at that point, and they still didn't know me too well, so I figured I would go ahead and break the ice and just make things a little bit easier. So I headed over for my 4th period class to go visit with these guys, and we sat there and we had a good time. Most of the people over there had played League, and I played League a lot at the time, so we had a good time talking and cracking jokes about our roles and stuff, and talking about the different champions off meta shit that we had seen. So about halfway through the conversation, we're having good laughs and stuff, and somebody then mentions a guy by the name of John. And John was somebody I actually knew. I had a friend who was good friends with John in middle school, so I knew who John was. John was a freshman. He was kind of edgy and dickish as far as everybody that I talked to knew. But I never really got a chance to talk with John much, besides like a couple parties where I got to see him, and he was kind of wild and crazy and obnoxious like everybody said he was. But somebody mentioned that John might show up to the table and see us all today. But John actually didn't end up coming to the table. He had some other work to do in a different classroom, so he didn't show up for that lunch period, which was kind of nice. So the next day rolls around, and, it's about 4th period. I get out of my classroom. I go towards the lunch table where the people, that I was going to hang out with would normally sit, because my friends were still missing. This was like a Wednesday. And so I head over to the lunch table, and I sit down, and we start having our normal conversation as usual. And then John shows up, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an image. John is kind of like he's like 5'2", white boy with like long, like blonde hair, like light blondish hair. And John shows up, being an edgy motherfucker, and we start giving him shit about League because he's Bronze 5. He's not very good at any of the games he plays. He's like Silver 1 in CSGO. He was Bronze 5 in League at the time. And we were all just, giving him flack just because everybody gave him flack just because he was so edgy and obnoxious. So John shows up, everybody's giving him shit, John's giving everybody else shit as normal. But of course, somebody has to fucking mention that I'm a furry. And I'm pretty sure that John already knew that I was a furry, because my close friend who, like I said, I was friends with middle school, was friends with John, told him about me a little bit, and that I was a furry. So John goes ahead and turns to me and, starts giving me shit about being a furry and everything. And he's in a couple different fandoms. He's in the Homestuck fandom, and I can't remember what other one, but he was just sitting there giving me shit and harassing me, being mean as usual, as what I've heard that John does, of course. So John, as normal, sitting there giving me flack, being an ass like he normally does. And I don't remember what it was, but he was sitting there shit-talking the furry fandom. And I, as a person, generally find that the furry fandom is a little bit nicer, a little bit better than most of the other communities, a lot less dickish for the most part, and full of a lot more nicer people. I've met a lot of good people through the furry fandom. But he said something, and I don't know what it was, but I turned to him, and just to get a rise out of him, I said, "Your fandom is trash, and you should feel bad." And he got so offended. He was like so angry, and it was so funny to see his face. So at this point, John is furious, and he's getting ready to shout shit at me and just get all angry and try to get under my skin. And as he begins to shout stuff, a school administrator walks around the corner, and the school administrator catches him right as he says, "At least I don't fucking fuck dogs, you fucking furry." And that's what he said to me. He legitimately said that directly to me, and he yelled it out, so everybody around us heard it, and it was easily loud enough for the school administrator to hear it. And so the school administrator looks at me, and I look pretty innocent because he didn't hear any of the previous conversation, and all I really said was that his fandom was garbage, so it wouldn't have mattered. So he looks at me, looks at John, looks at me, looks at John again, and then slowly walks up to John, taps him on the shoulder, and says, "Hey, buddy, where's your bag?" And John goes ahead and points that his bag is right next to him. And the school administrator goes ahead and says, "Why don't you come with me to the office?" And the school administrator walks off with John, going towards the office. So John and the admin are walking off, and we're sitting there, the rest of my group of friends, because we all just saw what went down, and we are trying so fucking hard not to laugh while the school administrator walks off. And so we wait 10 good seconds before all of us just start howling with laughter. We are legitimately dying, and we are laughing so fucking hard at the fact that John just got in trouble because he said that, and he was shit-talking me. And everybody in the social group was laughing pretty hard. And there were a couple other people from around the area who were kind of laughing at, you know, the fact that he got in trouble and that everybody saw what went down. Because I didn't yell or anything, so all you really hear is that, at least I don't fucking fuck dogs, you fucking furry. And then everybody kind of just turned and watched the scene play out. And I really didn't yell at all when I said that his fandom was garbage. So that's all everybody heard. That's the only context that people had, and it was hilarious. It was so funny. So the next day, not at the lunch table, but like 5th period, because I didn't end up hanging out with them that day, me and a couple of the people from the social group who I don't want to disclose their name, they end up getting rides from John's mom, or they did at the time before they had a driver's license. And they told me that they got in the car before John did and told his mom about what happened. Told him that he got in trouble for saying what he did. And when John got in the car, his mom said, "So I heard you fucking got in fucking trouble today, John." And apparently he got grounded. So I thought that was a funny story, and about one of the times I got somebody in trouble by being a furry. Well, not really, but because of their own actions, because I'm a furry. But I thought you guys would enjoy this video. My name is Whisper, and I'm out. Peace.